Nemesis, the rich genius like Batman with the morals of the Joker. Nemesis Part 2, let's get into it. Okay, so Part 1 ended with Nemesis putting out a mass broadcast of him holding the president hostage while letting Washington, D.C. know that they're going to suffer. And in Part 2, we pick up 20 years in the past at the childhood home of Matthew Anderson, aka Nemesis. Chief Morrow, the cop Nemesis wants to kill in the present day, is at Nemesis's house to speak with his father. He says that there was an inconsistency in one of his answers when asked about a missing girl. When Chief Morrow and young Nemesis get to Nemesis's father's room, they discover that he hung himself, leaving the family distraught. On the next page, Nemesis explains that his parents were running a hunting club for rich people involving teenage runaways, and that when they eventually got busted, Nemesis lost everything and was adopted by his uncle. Nemesis eventually got so bored and sick of his uncle's kind behavior and manners that he ran away to travel the world. By age 12, he was a gang lord. By 15, he was Asia's largest drug exporter. And at 23, he was the leader of a cult and ready to honor his mother's dying wish, that he kill the man in charge for locking her away, aka Chief Morrow. And that's when Nemesis was born. The story then switches over to Nemesis's lair, where he welcomes his henchmen to their new careers, asking them if they have any questions right after. One of the henchmen asks if they're really going to get paid $10 million for their job, and Nemesis says that they will. Then when asked what he's doing with the president, Nemesis says that he's saving him for his grand finale. After that, we see some of the treacherous acts that Nemesis has committed against Washington so far, like the destruction of the Redskins football stadium, the theft of their Hope Diamond, and some other citizens that he's killed. The story then switches over to Chief Morrow, who's visiting Nemesis's uncle, the one that adopted him, to ask him if he's helping Nemesis. But his uncle promises that he's not and says that he'd like nothing more than to see Nemesis be brought to justice. After that, we switch over to the Pentagon, where Chief Morrow and some other officials are trying to figure out where Nemesis's next attack will be because he sent them a riddle that holds the answer. The riddle reads, "What's black and white and red all over, and how does it relate to a gas attack?" Chief Morrow is able to solve it right away, saying that the answer is where they're at, the Pentagon. And that's when a lot of commotion starts taking place. So Morrow tries explaining why he knows he's right, but then every single person inside the Pentagon starts choking to death besides Chief Morrow and his partner Sergeant Lee. Morrow tries pulling one of the victims out of the room, but when he gets outside, he's met by Nemesis, who tells him that he's pumped nerve gas through the entire building and that all 20,000 people inside are dead. Morrow and Lee then try shooting at Nemesis, but he's untouched because they're in the Pentagon, so there's a bunch of bulletproof glass everywhere. Nemesis then tells Morrow and his partner that the only reason that they're still breathing is because he slipped an antidote in their morning coffee. He then reminds them that they don't die until March 12th, before revealing that he's released all of the Pentagon's secrets on the internet. Morrow then tells Nemesis that he's going to bury him, but Nemesis responds by saying, "Says the man who lost a president and all his country's nuclear codes. I thought you were supposed to be smart," then walking away. After that, we're taken into the night where Chief Morrow eyes revenge. He's trying to capture Nemesis by planting some bait, that bait being a pig's heart posing as a heart that a little girl needs for a transplant. Nemesis eventually takes the bait. He's just pure evil and doesn't want this fake little girl to get her transplant. But the police surround him from all corners, ready to take him down wherever he tries escaping. Or at least they thought they were. Nemesis presses a button inside of his vehicle that launches a weaponized superbike over the police barricade that was in front of him. But more cop cars wait for him ahead, so he doesn't hesitate to activate his bike's machine turrets, blasting all the cops away and clearing a path for himself. As one final helicopter above chases him from behind, Nemesis then launches him and his bike off of a dock, then backflipping off of the bike and demolishing the helicopter with a bazooka. After that, he dives into the water, where he eventually reaches an entrance to get to the sewers. Once inside the sewers, he reaches out to one of his guys, asking him if he's keeping the president fed and if he's found where Chief Morrow's kids are. His guy says yes to the president question, but no to the Morrow's kids question. Unfortunately for Nemesis, when he gets outside, he's ambushed and put to a stop by Morrow and a SWAT team that's been waiting for him. Moral then taunts Nemesis, asking him if he still thinks they need to step up their game. Nemesis is then beaten to the ground, where Sergeant Lee tells him that he's going to die in the chair like his evil mom. Nemesis then responds by calling the officers brain-dead idiots, insisting that this is what he planned for. But sadly, that's when this issue comes to an end, so if you want me to cover part 3, let me know by liking and commenting down below.